Welcome to the podcast, Claim Your Excellent Life, with your host, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, where she helps professional women learn how to be happy. Suzanne will teach you how to do this through building high self-esteem, relaxation and calm, and good, healthy relationships. Tune in every week as Suzanne shares effective strategies to help you claim your excellent life with happiness techniques, self-esteem building exercises, relationship tips, and relaxation information. Make sure to head over to dawningvisions.com to subscribe to the newsletter to receive your keys to happiness, as well as other useful free gifts for you.
In this episode of Claim Your Excellent Life, we are going to speak about healing old wounds. This is a particularly important subject because it comes up a lot with my clients in hypnosis, because many of them have been emotionally and or physically hurt by people in their family of origins. But I'm not going to be speaking about them. I'm going to be speaking about my own situation with one of my sisters, my younger sister, who's about a year and 3 months younger than me. Since teenhood, we really didn't talk too much together. She didn't really want to be around me, and so we didn't talk to one another that much. And then she ended up moving to New Hampshire while I was living with my ex-husband in Massachusetts. And she had bought a house, and she had a partner at that time who had been doing a lot of updating of the house and making it a much better place than what it was when she bought it. There were many times when me and my ex went out there, with my ex helping her partner at the time to fix that house, and all I got was a bunch of condescending comments, being the butt of our sarcastic jokes, and basically a pretty invasive personality. None of it was welcoming, none of it was positive, and for the most part I just made a decision that I didn't want to be around it. I didn't really know why it was that she acted this way about me, but if all I brought out was her anger, it didn't really seem to make sense to be around her. So I wasn't, until I got the call from my youngest sister's husband that my mom's time was almost over. I'd spent the last 10 days with her, and I knew that she wanted to go home, in quotes, meaning that she was ready to pass on. And I was fine. But I really didn't want to be there with my younger sister. There's just too much bad blood. To her credit, she had her arms open, ready for a hug from me. She hadn't seen me in a while. But I walked right past her, and I really wanted nothing to do with her. I was just there because I had to be there. Well, this little incident didn't leave a very good feeling with her husband, because I guess I told him that I'm not Sue, which is what my sister calls me. My name is Suzanne, and my name is Suzanne. That's what I want to be called. I don't know why he was so offended by that, but I guess he has his right to have his feelings too. So, anyway, we somehow got through that day, and I have found since that time that I was in a situation where I needed to leave the living situation that I was previously in. I was taking care of an old friend of mine, a guy I had dated several years ago, but his health had gone really downhill. In fact, when I first arrived at his house, like 9.5 months ago, he didn't even know enough to bring himself to the urgent care or to the hospital or anything for health care. I didn't know that he had congestive heart failure. I found that out after the fact. But that's what happened. He was eating all kinds of salty food. He had really bad edemas in his legs. He could barely breathe. He couldn't walk because of all the water in his legs. And he was in a really bad space. He spent 8 days in the hospital, and then he came home, and I did a whole lot of nursing care for him. I just finished a certified nursing program out in California, so I was pretty up to speed with what needed to happen and how to take care of him. Plus, I've been in healthcare for 35 years, so I know a lot about this stuff. In any case, over the last month or two, he started going from doing very well, eating very well, to not eating anything at all, really, and not really able to keep stuff down, which is why he was refusing my home-cooked foods. Now, I didn't realize this until the morning I ended up going down to the front porch to give him his morning meds to find him unresponsive. I called the ambulance, and he was brought over to the ER, and in the ER I was told that he had put himself into an alcohol coma. And there were 8 empty bottles of beer and about a liter of vodka gone. I didn't know how much vodka was in the container when he began, but I did know that he never really drank spirits. He usually just drank beer and sometimes wine, but usually just beer. So this was very different. In any case, during the previous week I had found him 2 times, once on his back and once on his front, out on the front porch around midnight. He had fallen and couldn't get up. So the situation was getting really bad, and I knew that I couldn't deal with him anymore. But I really didn't have anywhere else to go, so that was kind of a conundrum. I decided that it was time to leave with the help of one of his friends who had called me a few times to tell me that if he had gone home after that ER visit, nothing was going to change, so it was best for me to leave while I could. Couldn't really argue with her on that one. I ended up going up to Vermont to spend some time up in the woods in a tent. Now, I'm not generally one who enjoys camping, but there was something about this guy who had his profile up on Couchsurfing that made him look really spiritual. And he was. He was so present for me during the time that we were talking together, and I was explaining what I was going through, and I helped him through some stuff too, so it wasn't like it was a one-way street. It was just a really healing time for both of us. But I also knew when I left that it was really time to do some deeper healing with my sister. So I took a ride out to her home in New Hampshire, and I didn't really have any cellular phone service, so I couldn't call her as I was driving through the mountains. And I also had my GPS on my phone going, and I didn't really want to lose that connection because I didn't know if I was going to be able to reconnect should I lose it. So I just made up my mind that I was going to go over there, explain to her what was happening, and that I wanted to do some healing work with her because the time was right. I didn't have anywhere else to go, and I just wanted to heal what we could. I wasn't so interested in going into all the past in terms of all the horrible things that we had been through together and whatever. We would each have our own perspective, and that was, to be expected. What I did want to do was I wanted to start over from scratch. The miraculous thing that happened was that we spent an entire week together, and we didn't have one argument. And we did have our differences of opinion during some of the conversations that we had, and that was okay. Because who says that we have to agree on everything? We don't have to agree on anything, really. But we can be cordial and we can respect each other's views. And that's what adults need to do anyway. And that was the growth, like right there. Being able to just respect each other's point of view. Most of the rest of the time, she was into the politics of the day. She listens to a few talk radio programs, and she's on Quora and Facebook interacting with people on this political state of the White House in particular. And she updated me on a lot of the garbage that's going on in the White House, which, to tell you the truth, makes my stomach turn. But I guess it doesn't hurt to know the facts. And then we spent a lot of time playing word games. This is something she's always been really good at. She's a really good speller, and I basically suck at it. And because she plays these games all the time, she's very well practiced. And she knows all the weird words that one can use to fill in those odd spaces with those hard to place letters like Q's and Z's. And to tell you the truth, we had a really good time together. In fact, the first day and night I was there, she had me laughing so hard I couldn't believe it, because she really does have a really good sense of humor. She has a really funny way of telling stories about things, and that was really important. But the thing that I realized in this whole situation was that during the time that she was being really mean to me, she was really going through a very hard time herself. She had a live-in partner who had serious alcohol problems of his own. He abused painkillers, had put her $10,000 in debt, and she was doing whatever she could to just survive. Now she's a whole lot happier with her husband, and that makes things a whole lot easier to deal with. There were still a few things that she said that didn't really hit me in a very positive way, but I just let them slide by, because you know what? It just wasn't worth it. So here's the deal. When you are ready, and only when you are ready, to heal your old wounds, go about doing it. But also have the firm expectation that you're going to have a positive outcome. I didn't allow for anything other than a positive outcome with this situation. There was no question in my mind that I just wanted it to be healed and done with. And that's what happened. So go in with the correct mindset. As always, I thank you for spending your time with me. Till next time.
If you have enjoyed Claim Your Excellent Life, we'd really appreciate it if you go over to iTunes and give it a 5-star review. If you have found Claim Your Excellent Life to be helpful to you, and maybe even life-altering with the information that we have shared here, and to allow us to continue this work, which we really do enjoy doing for you, you can sponsor us at patreon.com. That's spelled P as in Paul, ATREON as in Nancy.com. Again, that's P as in Paul, AT as in Tom, REON as in Nancy.com, where there's a few different levels of sponsorship that you can choose from to help us to continue doing this work. We thank you for any assistance that you are able to give us.
Thank you for listening to the podcast, Claim Your Excellent Life, with your host, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, where she helps professional women learn how to be happy. Suzanne teaches you how to do this through building high self-esteem, relaxation and calm, and good, healthy relationships. Tune in every week as Suzanne shares effective strategies to help you claim your excellent life with happiness techniques, self-esteem building exercises, relationship tips, and relaxation information. Make sure to head over to dawningvisions.com to subscribe to the newsletter to receive your keys to happiness, as well as other useful free gifts for you.